Well, a big welcome to our live stream viewers as well. Welcome back for the judging of the Colonel AV Pope Cup, one of the very prestigious awards of the Melbourne Royal Show, as it is of the Sydney Royal Show. But here in Melbourne, we have a wonderful lineup of thoroughbred horses. This event is for thoroughbred horses. They must be registered as a thoroughbred in the Thoroughbred Stud Book. Now, there are 3 judges who have been nominated to officiate in this class. The principal judge, selected at random, has been Gary Beaton. So Gary will select 10 finalists to come forward to complete an individual workout, just as we saw earlier today with our Grand Parade trophy and with the Providence Cup as well. So we have a field, I think, of about 16 thoroughbreds coming forward. So we will whittle this down to 10, and 10 horses will then compete an individual workout with our 3 judges. So Gary Beaton will then be joined by Tanya Hay and by Becky Jenkins to compete for this Colonel AV Pope Cup. And a very big thank you to Racing Victoria, of course, with their wonderful off-the-track program. The off-the-track program has been so successful here in Victoria. In fact, Racing Victoria has certainly led the way throughout Australia with the promotion of their animal welfare, their horse welfare, in every case giving our thoroughbred opportunity in life, whether it be in the show ring, whether it be in endurance, in show jumping or eventing or pleasure riding or whatever it may be, the dressage arena. It's great to see so many of our thoroughbred horses now out competing in other aspects of equestrian activities. Well, our judge, Gary Beaton, has now the first heat for our Pope Cup horses. Live streaming viewers, unfortunately, I can't identify each of the horses on the circle at the moment, but certainly when we get down to our final 10, I'll be able to introduce those to you as they complete their individual workout. judge in our Colonel Pope Cup has now got his second heat. From here, he will choose his finalists, the final 10 horses that will compete an individual workout. Well, interesting for our live stream viewers. I said that Judge Gary Beaton in fact selected 4 horses only out of his first heat. He then selected 6 horses out of the second heat to make his top 10. Gary's about to be joined by our other 2 judges who will officiate in this class, Becky Jenkins and Tanya Hay. Well, I can see our judges in place down there now. Our 3 judges ready for our first horse to complete the individual workout in the Colonel AV Pope Cup for thoroughbred horses, showing thoroughbred qualities, but also being judged on manners, paces, conformation, and soundness and performance. And first horse to compete will be competitor 1175 from South Australia. This is Royal Blur and Alana Richards from Oakbank in South Australia. Royal Blur is a grey gelding sired by Top Echelon from the mare Star of Tian, foaled in 2015. It's Royal Blue and Alana Richards. Now, we're very fortunate to have the whole arena to judge our Pope Cup horses on, and how appropriate, because I'm sure our judges will be looking for our thoroughbred horses to really go forward, to really cover ground. We'll just watch our first workout, but I have no doubt at some stage in the workout there will be a gallop, or at least a hand gallop, included in the workout. Currently watching Alana Richards and Royal Blur from Oakbank in South Australia. Well, as predicted, yes, our judges have included in the workout a hand gallop of a full circle of the arena here, which is so good to see. We'll give the judges an opportunity to see these horses really move forward. They are thoroughbred horses, they know how to gallop, and one of the criteria in judging this class should be, in fact, to ensure that these thoroughbred horses can really move out. They are typical thoroughbred horses. So our first horse completing the workout, it is Royal Blur and Alana Richards. To competitor 1159 now. It's a nomination of Romsey Park and Christine Frost. Owned by Christine Frost, it is Ink. Now, Ink's a black geldings, foaled in 2011. He's by the Great Sire Octagonal out of a mare named Kadji Gold. And Ink raced under the name of Ocky's Gold. It is Ink, owned by Christine Frost, being ridden by Greg Micken. I'm sure some of these thoroughbred names will be familiar to many people watching our live streaming. Some, of course, of horses who had great success on the track, some maybe not so successful. In fact, I know the other day in our Fashions on the Field, where the winner of the gents section there was the great horse Hartnell, who won over $7 million in prize money on the track. We also had here a visit from two of our champions from Living Legends just recently. We had two horses here. Beauty Generation was one, and the other one's name escapes me right at the moment, but between them they had won $23 million in prize money. But the good thing about the off-the-track program, it doesn't matter whether horses have been successful or totally unsuccessful on the racetrack. That's totally irrelevant. All it is about ensuring these horses in retirement off the track have a good and purposeful home. And that's where Racing Victoria have been so good coming to the fore and with their support of the off-the-track program. Well, a big gallop right around the arena now for Ink and Greg Micken. Greg Micken and Ink complete their workout. As we move now to competitor 1584, this is Sinatra, nomination of Mark Kiddle, a bag gelding, foaled in 2010, and Sinatra sired by Casino Prince. Casino Prince, one of the very successful stallions, standing in the Hunter Valley up there at the Vinery Stud. Unfortunately, I don't have the dam's name or race performance of Sinatra, but he is by Casino Prince, and he's shown today for us by Mark Kittle, competitor 1584. That completes the work for competitor 1584, Sinatra and Mark Kiddle. We move now to competitor number 1765. This is Verve, nominated by Kinloch Show Stables, owned by Kirsty Oliver, and being ridden by David Ward. Verve is a bay gelding, folding in 14. He's by the great sire and Teofilo, one of the great sires of the world, and his dam is Fane. He raced under the name of Circuit Number 2. This is Verve and David Ward. In fact, this sire is by the same sire of the horse whose name I couldn't recall, that paraded here for us the other day from Living Legends. It was, of course, Twilight Payment, and the Melbourne Cup winner when ridden by Jai McNeil. That horse is by the same sire as this horse competing now in Teofilo. It's competitor 1765. It's Verve and David Ward. That completes the workout for Verve and David Ward. Now to competitor 619. 619 is Royal Fair, nominated by Stephen Merry, owned by Stephen Merry and Josh Clark, and being ridden by Josh Clark from Tasmania. Now, Royal Fair is actually an imported galloper, an imported thoroughbred from Germany, sired by one of the great sires in the Northern Hemisphere in Germany, in Monson, out of a German mare named Servinia. Competitor 619, Royal Fair and Josh Clark. That is competitor 619. It's Royal Fair, owned by Stephen Merry and Josh Clark, ridden by Josh Clark from Tasmania. We move now to competitor 1983. This is Holly Hildebrandt, and Holly rides her mare Divinity. Divinity is a brown mare, foaled in 2013. She's sired by Danehill's Fine Son in Oratorio, out of a mare by Tsar named Tsaristic. Raced under the name of Tie Up, it is competitor 1983, Divinity and Holly Hildebrand. Yet another one of our wonderful off-the-track horses. Divinity has been very successful in both led and ridden classes, a fine example of a thoroughbred horse, and again, one who's very appreciative of the great support that Racing Victoria off-the-track program gives to these thoroughbred horses. As I mentioned earlier, it's irrelevant whether they're champion race horses or no good at all on the racetrack. That's totally irrelevant. What is important, that they are given a second life after retirement off the track, and that's what Racing Victoria and their off-the-track program are supporting. We're currently watching Divinity and Holly Hildebrand. There we have the work from Divinity and Holly Hildebrand. A near-local competitor now comes into the arena. This is competitor 1392. This is Under the Lights, nominated and ridden by Catherine Neal from Gisborne. Under the Lights is a brown gelding foaled in 2009, sired by Zariz from the mare Opening Night, and Under the Lights raced under his show name as Under the Lights. Catherine Neal and Under the Lights, competitor 1392. You're watching, of course, the Colonel AV Pope Cup for thoroughbred horses, being judged on manners, paces, on conformation and soundness, and performance as well, and showing thoroughbred qualities. We have a fine lineup of our 10 finalists in this, the Colonel AV Pope Cup for thoroughbred horses. And saluting our judges, indicating the end of the workout is competitor 1392, Under the Lights, and Catherine Neal. Coming into the arena now to perform the individual workout is competitor 555. This is DP Believing, nominated by Dale Plum, owned by Kurt Crowther, and being ridden by Kurt Crowther. Now DP Believing, raced as Believing. He's a bay gelding, foaled in 2012 by the very successful sire Bel Esprit from the mare Hypatia. It's DP Believing and Kurt Crowther. And that completes the work for Kurt Crowther and DP Believing. Now, as we make our way through our 10 finalists in the Colonel AV Pope Cup, so very generously supported by Racing Victoria Off the Track program, we move to competitor 1139. This is the New Zealand-bred gelding Tahiti, owned and ridden by Natalie Cross. Now, Tahiti is a black gelding, foaled in 2012. He's sired by the New Zealand stallion Edenwald from the mare Snapwood. He raced under the name of Pan Alley. He now shows for Natalie Cross as Tahiti. Tahiti and Natalie Cross complete their workout, And we move now to our final of the 10 finalists. This will be competitor 1117. This is Highgrove, nominated and ridden by Fiona McIntyre. Now, Highgrove is a gelding foaled in 2014. He's by the champion sire in Schnitzel, out of the very good producing mare in Very Cherry. He raced under the name of Able Fun. It is Highgrove and Fiona McIntyre. Fiona, one of our accredited off-the-track retrainers here in Victoria, and does a wonderful job promoting our thoroughbred horses. Fiona, of course, originally and still is associated with that champion racehorse in Precedence, who she rode here at the Melbourne Royal Show this year. On this occasion, she rides the Schnitzel gelding Able Fun. Beg your pardon, he raced as Able Fun, of course. He now shows as Highgrove. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on our live streaming, that's our final competitor in the top 10 finalists in the Colonel A.V. Pope Cup, and that was Highgrove and Fiona McIntyre. Now, our 10 finalists will now all move forward towards our judges. That will give our judges an opportunity to go and inspect these horses, as I don't think any of these judges have in fact seen these horses before this class commenced today. So this will give them a chance to, we'll have a winner of our Pope Cup. Well, Tracy Button from Racing Victoria, very big welcome. Thank you indeed to Racing Victoria for the great support that they give the off-the-track classes, in particular the Pope Cup. Now, Tracy, at the moment, I think we're only on live streaming, but if we can hold fire for 2 moments, we might come live here down at the Royal Melbourne Show Horse and Action Arena. Okay, right, we're live now. Thank you very much. Thanks, team upstairs. Well, I was giving a big welcome to Tracy Button down here. Yes, absolutely, Wayne. Tracy, a big welcome, firstly. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the great support that Racing Victoria are giving our off-the-track classes. It must be wonderful to see such a fine lineup of thoroughbred horses in a new life. Well, I think we're back on stack now. I think I've been talking to myself for a little while here. What I was saying, folks, is I was welcoming Tracy Button from Racing Victoria and saying how proud she must be to see such a fine lineup of thoroughbred horses who are now in their second phase of their life. Many of which will have raced, some may not have been raced, some will be successful, some not so successful. But Trace, that's all irrelevant, isn't it? Fact is that they're now being looked after, as you can see, magnificently, and that's one of the aims of the Racing Victoria off-the-track program.
That's exactly right, Peter. It's just a thrill to be here today. I have to admit, it's my first Pope Cup, so it's been really cool to actually see all this happen. And of course, it's great to be to have Racing Victoria in the off-the-track program attached to such a prestigious event as the Melbourne Royal Show.
Thank you, it absolutely is. And this, of course, Pope Cup is one of the most prestigious horse classes at a Royal Show, particularly here in Melbourne. There have been some super horses over the years that have won a Pope Cup, and I have no doubt this year's winner will be another super horse's name added to the list of those champion Pope Cup winners. Tracy, apart from obviously the show horses, what other avenues of off the track is Racing Victoria supporting?
Well, of course, our Equine Welfare Fund actually supports horses during their racing career and also post-racing, and our programs extend across eventing, dressage, show jumping, non-competitive programs. We've got a couple of great non-competitive programs, so show horse, of course, as we see here today, but yeah, there's equine therapy, a lot of really good initiatives that come out of our Equine Welfare Fund, which comes from a percentage of prize money, so yeah, so the horses are insured of life after.
Yes, well, racing industry is certainly contributing majorly to the financing of these off-the-track and all the other programs. Of course, we at the shows see our hacks going around, and we appreciate the great support from Racing Victoria. But as you mentioned, there are so many other aspects of the work that Racing Victoria is doing, and that's really to be commended, unquestionably. Now, Trace, you're here at the Melbourne Show today, your first Pope Cup. I guess you're missing being at the Gallops all the same.
Oh, you know, you have to make sacrifices. I think I'd rather be here, to be honest. So, say that.
You're allowed to say that. Well, you're seeing some mighty fine horse flesh here, of course. Well, of course, you could be at the footy. Hey, we're 33 minutes into the final. Oh, we'll get a score for you very soon, I'm sure, folks. Who do we got a choice at the footy today, Trace?
Oh, look, I'm not a massive football fan, but I'd have to go Collingwood. I know I'll get screams, but yeah.
Well, okay, you're allowed to. I can't agree, but I understand where you're coming from. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it appears now that our judges have finalised their scores. Our scores have been given in a preferential order from 1 to 10 by our 3 judges, and I refer to Becky Jenkins down there from Queensland. We have Gary Beaton from here locally, of course, and from Tasmania, Tanya Hay. So we welcome our 3 judges officiating in the Pope Cup. Well, Anna Richards' scores are all in, so whatever we say can't influence any judging. How was your ride? Welcome here. Well, are you living here in Melbourne now or still in South Australia?
I'm living in Romsey at the moment.
Sorry?
Romsey.
In Romsey, thank you. And how has the show been for you?
Oh, I love Melbourne show. It's been it's been great to be a part of my first Gary Owen yesterday, and yeah, I always enjoy Melbourne.
And how did you come by Royal Blue? And maybe you can tell us a little bit about his background.
I came upon Royal Blue when Greg Geary sent him to Chris and Vicky Laurie. We're looking for my next hack after our horse Royal passed away, unfortunately. And he had done a little bit of training with them and then came to us after spelling, and yeah, he's been mine ever since.
Well, he's done a great job for you. Looks magnificent out here today, and congratulations, good luck in the final judging. Greg Micken, what an old charmer this fella is. Ink, Ockie as he's known around the stable. Ockie's Gold he raced as by the great sire in Octagonal. He's been a wonderful horse, hasn't he, for his owner Christine?
Away on holidays at the minute, so I'm fortunate to get the ride on him here.
Well, I hope she's watching our live streaming and seeing just how well Ink performed for you here today. Mark Kittle, you've come a long way to compete here at Melbourne Show. You must enjoy Melbourne Show. And how have you been faring?
It's been a good show. Always like Melbourne Show. Weather's amazing. Yeah, it's good.
Where is home for you at the moment?
An hour south of Sydney.
Hour south of Sydney, so you have travelled a fair way. Now tell me, for those people watching here from the sidelines, do you travel straight down? Do you stop on the way? How do you get down here to Melbourne Show?
We travel to just near Kilmore, stay there the night and then come in the morning.
And Mark Sinatra, the horse you're riding, and just finished your workout. How did you come by Sinatra and his story?
He belongs to one of our clients, Janice Edwards. They got him off the track. He's only done a season and a half, so he finds it still a little bit overawing to be out here, but he's coping.
Thank you. Well, they're remarkably adaptable, aren't they, our thoroughbred horses? Yes, we've seen some of them that may need another year to totally settle here on this vast Melbourne Royal Arena, but generally speaking, you'd have to say that our thoroughbred horses have coped remarkably well. Josh Clark, you're down in Tasmania by residence, but I understand spending some time here in Victoria. Your horse you rode today, do you know his background and how was his race record?
His race record wasn't too great. He's by a stallion called Monsoon. He's a great horse and I'm lucky to be doing it with Steve and Mary. I'm based in Hobart, but I'm over here doing horses, so I'm living the best life, really.
Thank you, Josh. Well, it's interesting to have an imported horse, a horse from Germany, raced in Germany and by one of the leading sires of the world in Monson. Well, I can see some action happening up there in our presentation area. Holly Hildebrand and Divinity, it is. Well, Divinity's been a wonderful mare to you. Raced under the name of Tied Up. How did you come to have Divinity?
So I was lucky enough to purchase Divinity of Kathleen Mullen. So I've had her now for coming up 3 years. So we're still getting to know each other and that, but yeah, we're starting to form a good partnership.
Well, it certainly appeared that way during your workout in this Pope Cup. Well, I think we'll head over now to the presentation area, and it shouldn't be very long before we're able to announce the winners. One of our judges, Gary Beaton, admiring this magnificent Pope Cup. Isn't it a wonderful trophy, Gary? Tell me, is your name on there? I'm sure it is.
It certainly is. I just had a look.
When did you win it? Do we make mention of that or do we hide that?
It was a few years ago now.
Oh, very tactful. Thank you. And who'd you win it with, though?
Lebrecht's Dancing Poet.
Ah, of course, Limerick Dancing Poet, yes, had great success here at the Melbourne Show and won the Pope Cup. So one of our judges, his name is inscribed on the Colonel AV Pope Cup trophy. Well, Becky Jenkins, the Melbourne Royal Show have got their value out of you, haven't they? You've been competing in show jumping last week. You've been judging part of the Gary O and you've been judging riding. Now you're judging Pope Cup. You've had a little of everything, but I trust you enjoyed it. How'd you find judging our Pope Cup?
Pope Cup, it's a lovely lineup of horses. It's a true testament to what a true thoroughbred is, and it was very enjoyable to watch. Awesome that we could have the whole arena and they could show us what they have.
Well, I agree 100%. Now, having said that, as a layperson, I was hoping we might have seen a little more gallop. I think considering we had the whole arena, maybe some of the gallops were a little conservative.
Well, anyone that knows me in my riding career, I always go for broke. So for me, it would have been a good hard gallop.
That's what I thought. When I saw you judging, I thought, Becky Jenkins will really want to see some of these horses gallop. And I'm sure some fulfilled your requirements, maybe not every one of them. Well, won't be long, folks, before we can make an announcement. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the fanfare indicates that we have a result in the very prestigious Colonel AV Pope Cup for thoroughbred horses, so very generously supported by Racing Victoria off the track program. And I can announce our Colonel AV Pope Cup winner is competitor 619. It's Royal Fair and Josh Clark. Congratulations, Josh. With the imported gelding, Royal Fair, imported from Germany. Sired by Monson. I mentioned one of the very top sires in Europe, out of a mare named Cervinia, also a German mare. Royal Fair owned by Stephen Merry and Josh Clark. Congratulations, Colonel AV Pope Cup winners for 2023. A big thank you to Tracy Button down there from Racing Victoria off the track program, making the presentation to Josh Clark. Being assisted down there by a steward, Lynn Melbourne. Thank you very much, Lynn, and congratulations also given by Judge Gary Beaton. And very shortly, this magnificent trophy will be presented by Tanya Hay to Josh Clark and Royal Fair. And so Royal Fair's name will be added to the list of wonderful horses, wonderful thoroughbred horses, who have won the Pope Cup. To our runner-up now, and our runner-up, well, firstly, Tanya, the trophy, that'll be very important. Let's award the trophy to Josh and Royal Fair, and also that magnificent garland being presented by Becky Jenkins. Well, wonderful photo there. Well done, Royal Fair, posing, looking the true thoroughbred that you are. Smiles all around, particularly from our rider, of course, in Josh Clark. I think Royal Fair's smiling as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as photographs are being taken, I can now announce our runner-up in the Colonel AV Pope Cup. It is competitor 1159. It's Inc. and Greg Micken, nomination of Christine Frost. As Greg made mention earlier, Christine away on holidays at the moment. I hope she's watching our live stream. Greg, congratulations. Very worthy runner-up in the Colonel AV Pope Cup. Well, Inc certainly is no stranger to the winner's circle. He's been champion thoroughbred on numerous occasions, both led and ridden. The National Hack Champion, a Royal Show Champion. So both our winners, wonderful examples of the thoroughbred horse. And thanks to the support of Racing Victoria and their off-the-track program, they give to all these thoroughbreds certainly encouragement for people to have our wonderful thoroughbred horses out in the competition arena as well as the leisure industry. Their great red coats down there. Steve Peters doing a wonderful job just ensuring that Royal Fair stands for the photographs.